Hello everyone, welcome back to Old School AOT, and today we have a game for you between DoD Killerboy and Mahi. So, it's been quite a while since there has been a game released on Old School AOT, and I do apologize for that, but I did see that we've had some new subscribers join the channel, so I figure it's time for a new game in celebration of that, and also just because it's been quite a while. So we're going to have Hades versus Loki on Oasis, and the comments said that this was a really amazing game, so we'll have to wait and see, but I have high expectations for this game. We see that Mahi's just opening up with, well, I think he has honey dogs, but let me check. Yep, he's opening up with a honey dogs build. Though strangely, he's also farming berries right away. I guess he didn't want to burn through all this right away. And he does, well, that's not very good hunt, but there is a little bit of hunt, not that much, so maybe it's good that he didn't burn it all up right away. You can see the Killerboy is expanding to his expansion hunt, and he does have a double Ulsark start, so Killerboy is going to be gathering a lot of sheep. But of course, Mahi has good chances due to the Greek scout just being really good at scouting, so he should get a decent amount of sheep as well. With this double Ulfsark, Killerboy is really going to be able to scout the map quite well. So he'll know, where all the resources are. He's already discovered that he has a little bit more hunt up here. He's discovered his small hunt pile here. And here we go, discovering some more goats. So he's going to be well off in the food department, even if he gets pushed early. He will be in a good situation due to having a lot of goats. He needs to get that goat, but it's neither here nor there. Now, what I don't like about Killerboy's position is that this gold mine is really quite exposed, as we can see. That's not good. It can make him very vulnerable to an early attack by Mahi, and Mahi will also most likely scout that, given how good the Greek scouting is, so we'll see if our Hades player wants to follow up and apply a bunch of early pressure and maybe try to take this game relatively early on. I wouldn't blame him. Mahi now has discovered that he has 2 more drafts here, so he is going to move on to that. 600 food, so it's definitely worth building that granary. But after that, he will be pretty much fresh out of hunt, because there really isn't much else other than these hyena over here, which at 100 food a pop are barely even worth hunting. Maybe if you're really desperate. Here we go. Let's see. Hyena, a few baboons in the middle of the map, or monkeys rather. These guys are almost never worth hunting, especially on the old patch. This is a 1.03 game, of course, from about 2008 or so. So, you might see some stuff that you normally don't see these days, but should be good. These are both really good players, with Killerboy being the better player, but Mahi was no slouch either. And given that he has the matchup advantage here, he should have pretty good odds this game. So we do have the temple going up for Mahi. He's got 9 sheep. Killerboy has 8, despite starting double wolf, but that's okay. It's still enough. And there's Killerboy's temple. He's going to put it directly in front and try to sort of limit access to this area here. I guess he's already a little bit concerned about his gold mine. There we see the scout walking by and taking a little bit of damage, nothing to worry about. And we see that Mahi has now scouted the extremely bad gold mine, of Killerboy. So, you know he's just thinking, what can I do about that? And there we go, going up Athena. So he's going to have that old unnerfed restoration to try to punish the Loki player, which it really is quite capable of doing. So we'll have to see how we can respond. Killerboy. Mahi going for a nice wall in the middle. This is a very good wall. It just will limit the access of the Forsetti Herseer to his base. And I assume Killerboy's up a Forsetti. He's not advancing yet, so he's still a little bit slow. Sometimes Norse has trouble advancing quickly on this map, especially if you don't get like a ton of hunt nearby. But that's not really all that big of a deal. Anyway, he should be going up after this dwarf, and there we go. So he will be up 6 minutes, which is pretty late, but it's okay. We see that he is mirroring our Greek player and creating a wall in the middle to try to sort of, again, limit access. And this could end up being really important because of his late advance, because it will probably slow down whatever units come to attack him right away. So he has maybe 30 seconds more to respond. The flagstone and Buhin for Mahi. Cheaper walls and gates, that's always nice. Now what do we have coming out? We have an archery range, a military academy, and that's it. So it's Hop Tox, and that's a very good combination against Loki. Even another military academy. I don't know if I'm favoring the double military academy here. Like, does he really have the food to support double military academy? I mean, maybe he does. Has he gotten husbandry yet? No, he hasn't. Otherwise, he's got everything else, though, for now. All the basic techs. But maybe he just wants to get a bunch of hot plates out early and hope that will be enough to do the job. Watching the second gold mine with his scout and starting to hit the gate. So we see that this will delay the pressure on Killerboy slightly. Killerboy getting his longhouses to the side. 3 of them. Pretty good. So hopefully, I don't know if I like this longhouse positioning. They're sort of vulnerable and they could get taken out. So hopefully Mahi just won't scout them being there, because like I said, that is an odd place to put your longhouses. So just hopefully they won't be scouted by a Greek player until Killerboy has enough of an army going to defend. And these 2 towers at the back are pretty useless, but I see the Killerboy is getting Raiders in Herseer and throwing Axemen. So that's a pretty good combination of units. Getting a wall here, and oh yeah, there's the tower. So he's going to immediately tower against the early pressure, because he's just a little vulnerable and he doesn't want to trade his food heavy units for Mahi's units quite yet. So you can't really blame him. It's a good idea to get the tower early if you're being pressured by Greek here. It just gives you a little more breathing room and a little more room to pick fights that you like. And here we go, he is picking a bit of a fight early. And he will be killing a hoplite? No, not quite yet. That fat troll in the back, a little vulnerable. It's going to get poked. But he should be able to keep it alive. And yep, he kept it alive. So he's got the healing spring, so his units will heal up now. So that's good. He doesn't have to make anything happen yet. He can just sit and wait. And right now with his towers, Mahi can't really push. If he didn't have this tower, Mahi could just come in and slam this temple down. And that would be a problem, because as you see, Killerboy really doesn't have the resources to build another temple. He would have to stop economic production, or military production, which wouldn't be great. The Raiders are going out. I'm not sure what they're going to be looking for, but Killerboy is going to try to sneak them around. All the while, this army from Mahi is coming in and attacking his doors. They're not going to kill anything. But the raiders are coming back. And Killerboy is going to attempt to sort of surround. And at the very least, maybe try to kill this army. He doesn't want to commit with the raiders, though, into the hoplites, because that's just such a bad deal. So he's just running them around a little bit while the throwing axemen do the work of really damaging the main army. And Mahi has taken some heavy losses there. That is a big fight for Killerboy. A big win. He's getting his favor up, so he will be able to make trolls if he needs them. But all in all, that was not a good fight for Mahi. I wonder if he should have considered using restoration there and maybe trying to take out the tower on the back of that. But of course, that's always easier said than done. Perhaps he just didn't feel you could win the fight even with restoration. And this army is getting surrounded. And note that Killerboy still doesn't have Hall of Fames. He's been focusing on just getting a good army out, so he just hasn't invested in it yet. But now Mahi's reinforcements have arrived. So he's going to be able to sort of not fight yet, but he's able to save the remainder of the army, which is nice. Very important. And let's take a look at Mahi's point of view for a minute. So as we see, he's really down in population compared to Killerboy. That was a disastrous fight. But it's okay. Still going for the double military academy, but not really supporting it well. Yeah. So he can't really support it, but that's okay. So this is getting to be a pretty big army here. Even if he is currently outpopped by Killerboy, don't underestimate how lethal a Hoptox army can be against Norse. And here we go, Killerboy attempting to repair the wall. And Killerboy has gotten trolls out now. And that's really good. The trolls are great against the Hoptox. And we have Restore coming in now, which is a little weird because his army is popped out. I don't know why Mahi didn't wait for a few more units. But as we see, this fight is not going Mahi's way. There are too many trolls and too many throwing axemen to make mincemeat of these hoplites. So it's a problematic situation. However, despite that, Mahi still did pretty well in that fight because of restoration. So the game is actually much closer now than it was before that, with the pop position coming closer to being in Mahi's favor from that fight. So not the best restoration fight. Again, I sort of wonder if he should have cast that restoration earlier, but he is of course achieving his goal of just putting a lot of pressure on the Loki player and making the Loki player sort of shit his pants. So let's just say that Killerboy can't be feeling too comfortable right now, despite being in the lead by quite a bit. And we see that Killerboy is now having to start his farming transition, which Mahi is much farther along on, so that is one area where Mahi's leading. Raiding cavalry and a Valkyrie coming around. They will find that villager and kill it, I'd imagine. Yep, easy surround. So that's a little minor pickup. Will they not kill it? Oh no, it got away. Oh, that's unbelievable. That villager should have not gotten away, but it's okay. Mahi needs to reseed his mining camp on both sides, because that's a long way to travel for wood. That's not good. Raiders still going around. Mahi's having to retreat his villagers, and he is sending his military back, trying to just sort of surround this group of raiders and maybe kill a few of them. But getting a few hits, but okay. Yeah, most of them are going to get away. They're just much faster than the Hoptox army. And that's really the one weakness of the Hoptox army. It's just not fast. You're not going to be getting anywhere too fast. Despite the fact that it just fights really well together, you are slow. So, you don't want to be on the defensive too much with an army like this. And wow, these units were almost trapped in there. Killing the villager. And attacking the wall, and they are going to have to run out of there. All in all, decent raid though. It served the purpose of keeping the pressure off Killerboy with just a few units, so well done. And he is transitioning into a really heavy raider army. A raider and troll army, which is with a few here. He still doesn't have Hall of Thanes. Looks like he's going for the town center. Now you see that he still hasn't started Hall of Thanes because he really hasn't needed Hall of Thanes. He's only had a few here, and he has been using his raiders in a raiding capacity, so he just hasn't needed the Hall. So that's a lesson for all you Loki players out there. You don't really always need to get Hall of Thanes right away. It's good to get, obviously, but sometimes there's other upgrades you should prioritize. Taking a bunch of losses there, some sloppy unit handling, I don't like that. And that will allow Mahi to sort of close up and feel comfortable about pushing in again. And Killerboy is going to have to immediately jump off his gold mine because, he's outnumbered right now. He just can't win this fight. He's got this strange Raider TA Troll army that I actually think is pretty good against what Mahi has. Chiron does destroy trolls, but there's only one Chiron and there's 5 trolls. And perhaps he'll think about investing in Hammer Troll. And so now we're going to have an all-out fight break out between the two armies. Because Killerboy has to fight because his gold mines are exposed. And Mahi, of course, wants to fight because he sees what's going on down here with his Kataskopos. And it looks as though Killerboy is controlling this fight, although I don't really like chasing the Chiron. A little bit of a missed micro there. But these trolls are pretty much untouched due to Chiron being focused. And the trolls are cleaning up the army, these Toxotes and these hoplites. Although very good against the main army, they just can't deal with these super trolls. I mean, look, these trolls are just shredding these Greek classical units. And without the heroes around to take the trolls out, and the heroes just sort of chilling there, that's weird. But Mahi's going to have to retreat out of there. And yep, retreat he will. He's going to form up in the middle for another attack. But he did do a lot of damage again. And he now is ahead on population. So that attack was actually quite devastating. Killerboy getting up another 3rd town center in the meantime. And Mahi on his 2nd. So Mahi does really have an opportunity to gold starve again. If he comes in there. He should have a population advantage right now in terms of just army size. So we'll see if he does that. Instead, he's going down to the bottom of the map, which is a little odd. But trolls are MVP. And another troll spawning. Not bad. So these trolls are really keeping Killerboy in this game. Without the trolls, he would be probably out of the game right now. And here we go. Mahi coming in, threatening the gold again. And we do see that Killerboy's economy has really gotten a bit out of kilter. This is a really common thing with Loki, particularly in games where Loki's fighting a lot, but that's not good. You shouldn't let this happen, guys, unless you're planning to up and sell all your gold to get to Mythic quickly or something. So try to avoid this. We see Loki do this a lot in Norse, and it's not good. And here we see that the heroes are actually fighting the trolls this time. Hammer trolls out, I believe. Yep. It's a very good upgrade. As we can see, they get 50 more, they get 25% more HP, they get 2 more range, and they get 2 more pierce damage. So that's just very good. Very powerful upgrade. And only for 200 wood and 10 favor, so Hammer Troll is very good, guys. Anyway, despite the heroes focusing the trolls are still doing huge amounts of damage. And what is Killerboy's trying to hold on to is throwing axemen, but he is being pushed off gold. So that is bad, but you know, he does have a timing window in the sense that he's not going to lose immediately. Due to having gold banked up, you still shouldn't have lots of gold banked up like this. You should manage your economy better, ideally. But in this case, you know, it is sort of a saving grace. And he can also produce these trolls. Continue to produce these trolls, which don't cost any gold. So he should be okay for now. And he's able to go over to the other gold mine, and Mahi isn't responding, so... And he may be sneaking more gold here, or something. I think he was gathering wood. It stopped when Mahi's units came. In this fight, Killerboy is going to try to get right on Chiron so his trolls can dominate the fight. And that's exactly what's going on. His raiders are chasing out Chiron, while the trolls shred the human units. So, good micro here. Very good micro. And we see that Mahi has taken another town center. So he is going to start to boom out very soon. And that's one thing that must be getting scary for Killerboy in this game. The fact that Mahi really will soon be boomed out, considering he's lost 3 town centers. And the later the game goes in Hades against Loki, well, past a certain point, the odds of Loki winning really fall off. Loki is not a late game civilization. As we all know. At this point, both players should be full population and with full armies, and maybe Killerboy will be thinking about getting heroic soon. Because his resources are starting to stack up, so it could be a good idea. He does have the basic line upgrades, so he's at least got some, you know, semi-decent economy going. And Mahi is slightly ahead, having Bone Saw, but not all that much ahead. And we do see that Killerboy has really neglected her seer production. He's just going for a much more traditional army. So it's interesting to see him do this. I mean, again, this is kind of an odd unit composition, but it does seem to be working for him. And Mahi has walled the bottom of the map, sort of in preparation for trade, I guess. And that will serve the purpose of keeping Killerboy's raiders out and allowing his slow army sort of some time to catch up to the raiders and repel them. And the raiders really can't take this fight, so they're just going to keep running away. Mahi is starting to fortify. Oh, Killerboy's going up braggy, by the way, but Mahi's starting to fortify this middle position, and he is up Apollo. So he's got watchtowers that are going up. No upgrades for them yet, although of course the Hades upgrades just give them 137 HP off the rip. So that's very strong. Hades buildings are just so strong. Anyway, with these 3 watchtowers there, more archery ranges, military academies coming up. Mahi's going to be securing an expansion gold for himself, which is something that, you know, Killerboy can vibe off these 2 golds for a while, but he is going to have to start thinking about, in the near future, about how he's going to secure an expansion mine up with Braggy. And that could prove problematic, because all these other mines are sort of almost under Mahi's control. Put in a fortress up there. I like that. Walls are upgraded. Very nice. Let's see what his armory situation is. Now this is you'll never see this. You'll never see a player invest in copper shields first against Norse unless they're going against mass troll. So that's actually quite smart of Mahi. Because these trolls really are the DPS unit of the army for right now. So that's odd, strange, but nice. You know, it really shows that Mahi was responding to what was going on in the game rather than just operating off rote instinct. Need hack armor against Norse every time. Villagers sneaking around for Killerboy. Perhaps he is trying to get to the gold mine. But at any rate, Mahi is watching that with his scout, which he has still preserved. Heavy raiders coming in. That's quite strong, giving them quite a bit more hit points. Nope. Killerboy is just instead going for wood, and his main woods are running low, so I guess he just figured that was the safest spot to gather the wood. And that is indeed an interesting spot to gather the wood. And he's upping with hell too, so going to Mythic right away. So our Loki player will be Mythic very soon, and probably once he's Mythic he will try to push into this location. Because he does have to make something happen in order to win this game. He can't just stay in a defensive position forever. Hill fort coming up. And more walls from Mahi. So he's just slowly creeping and taking control over the map. I would like to see even more of them. If he walled up here, for example, he could cut off Killerboy's access to expansion mines, which would be really nasty. Mythic up. And Mahi can soon be going Mythic himself if he wants to, and there he's starting to establish a trade route. Nope, Killerboy will be trying to set up racks here, but, well, he'll probably get a few up, but eventually that will be stopped by the fortress. Big fight going on in the middle. Nice upgrades from Killerboy. And Mahis are starting to get there, but they're a little bit behind. Nidhogg coming down. Right over the clump of archers. And that's just going to serve to sort of distract. See that the fire giant is getting targeted. And Artemis coming out. Of course, Earthquake being a very strong god power. And Flaming Weapons still being held, despite it being Mythic and Champion Infantry and Champion Raiders out. So I'm not sure. Ooh, poor Nidhogg. Oh no. A little bit of a poor micro there. And he's now going to be mining gold here, which Mahi will probably stop. Flaming Weapons coming down. This is it. This is the big fight we've all been waiting for. All those trolls still alive. And Mahi retreating to a more defensible position under his tower line. And, now, there's so many towers here. I mean, Jesus. Annihilated towers as well, so it's going to be hard for this Flaming Weapons to really push in. And we see that it is sort of starting to run out of steam, unfortunately, for Killerboy. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it has done a lot of damage, I must admit that, but is it enough? I don't know. We see Killerboy now moving on to this other gold mine, which is why like a wall like here would have been so nice. But hey. And that flaming weapons has sort of successfully pushed through. And Mahi actually is in trouble, so this fight actually I'd say did go pretty well for Killerboy. And he is going to clean up this position here, though at a cost. He's lost a lot of army. And is he going to clean it up? I don't know. I don't think he can push through these 4 towers here, especially not with the heroes coming out. And we have what is it? Perseus coming in, and you know, he didn't one-shot the fire giant. That's too bad. But hey, I think he got a troll. The fight's surging back and forth. Mahi now fully repopped. So yeah, the flaming weapon attack did peter out, as I was saying, and although it was a nice attack, it didn't really do anything all that important strategically. It pretty much just took out 1 fortress. So I don't know if that's going to be enough to really decide anything. And here we go in this choke point. The Toxotes are extremely strong, although they are sort of outnumbered. And Mahi could use some more towers here, some more defensive buildings, and sort of creep forward again, which is what he is doing, still holding on to his god powers. And those could prove decisive. Raiding party coming down here. He can stop that hill fort, and then, well, no he can't. Killerboy has converted Ulfsark smartly, realizing that he doesn't want to lose that position or take too much damage onto his gold. Killerboy's trade starting up. Mahi's still pretty small, but it is on the way. And the fight here just going on non-stop. Both players absolutely want to control the middle of this map. Consider it vital to winning, and neither player is willing to cede the ground, both sides taking enormously heavy losses here to try to control it. But the fortress of Mahi is going back up, so he should be reestablishing control over the middle very soon. This little raid, not amounting to much, but it was a nice effort. And targeting the ox cart, although he won't get to kill it. The fight in the middle just raging again, and we're now sort of back to the point of how it was before the flaming weapons, so sadly the flaming weapons did not achieve too much. Although I think Killerboy is now has a pretty distinct pop advantage. And I believe the reason for that is just that his military attacks are starting to really surpass Mahi. Which is sort of odd, considering how long Mahi's had to move out. Yeah, he has inferior armor and inferior line upgrades. So Killerboy's economy management has really actually surpassed Mahi. Which again is sort of odd, but well, good on him. And we actually see this position getting pushed again. 2 fire giants. There was 3 for a minute, but fire giants are quite strong, and they are able to siege this position out. And Mahi seems to have trouble keeping his heroes out consistently, so these fire giants will be really dominating the fight until fresh Greek heroes arrive to kill them. Another fire giant coming out. Do they have any upgrades? They do have rampage. So the fire giants will train immediately. And we see that Killerboy is falling in population a little bit, and Mahi is as well. They're quite comparable right now. They're both sort of really struggling to control the middle. Yeah. But I do think that Killerboy has the edge right now, just due to his superior technologies. You know? A little bit of a push going on here. Killerboy's units coming in and stopping Petrobras from Mahi, and so he will just harass this gold mine, which could prove to be quite annoying. And Mahi's economy actually looks a little bit small, so that's a little odd, but the villagers having to retreat. The supreme fight in the middle continuing. And the gold miners, now that their purpose is sort of exhausted for the time being, they will be joining the fight to take down this fortress. Ooh, Underworld. I guess Mahi feels it's critical to defend this position. It's a little odd. He does have the trade route at least somewhat set up, so I don't know if it's really critical to do that. You know, I mean, it'd be a much stronger play to underbuild and stop Killerboy's trade route, for example, but I guess he was just sort of feeling the pressure right there. Putting down another fortress immediately, and now he is going to attack this hill fort. The side build of Killerboy. Or no, just going to back off. Killerboy coming right for the underbuild passage. Going to target it down immediately, which is of course the correct move. But Mahi is now back, so the passage will hold up for now. Yeah, I don't like that passage use, and I don't like that he hasn't used Earthquake yet either. But hey. Huge fights continuing to go down in the middle. We do see the Mahi is catching up a little bit on technology. So that's very good. You know, if he can equalize in technology, the Norse army really will struggle to win any fights. Raiders pressing this fortress, and villagers coming out to stab them. So the raiders they will turn and fight, yep. And they will kill all the villagers, because there's only 4. And there we go, back to attacking the fortress. A lone Taxode coming through the underworld passage. And it's still quite interesting that neither player has been able to establish dominance over the middle. Another side build coming in here. And this is quite smart of Killerboy, as are these double walls of Mahi. So smart stuff by both players. Mahi with Petrobras is sieging this forward temple. And Killerboy is starting to go down in population. As we can see, that's happening simultaneously as Mahi's armory is starting to catch up in his lineups. Going back for the underworld passage and trying to pressure on the side again, where Killerboy is also Earthquake coming in. He's just had enough of this annoying side build, so he's just gonna nuke it. Well, I don't feel that was really all that valuable, but at least it did kill some units. Idle villagers here, and Mahi now will be coming into the siege line. Conversion there. Mahi continuing to fortify the middle. And he probably should have been pushing forward with towers a while back, because, you know, does Killerboy really have an answer to it? Probably not. The side build on the left is finished. Killerboy's army coming to protect his trade. In sort of a last-ditch attempt to take out the market. He may kill it, but even if he does, it's not horribly productive. Killerboy has a lot of gold stacked up, so he can just rebuild it and wait, and he's already rebuilding it. Another hill fort coming up there. More guerrilla fights going on over here. This army has now been cleared out. Fights continuing over here. With neither player really having any sort of definitive advantage over the other player. The game has just gone on quite guerrilla style, and upgrade's now very close. This side build continuing to grow. Mahi will need to do something about this side build here, because his middle position is starting to get surrounded, which isn't a great thing. And the fights go on here, on this right side. I guess controlling that gold mine is important to Mahi, because he doesn't want to give this position up. Killerboy now fortifying his side build with towers. Quite a few idle villagers here. He needs to hit his spacebar. Mahi now fortifying this position. This has been quite the war of attrition. Neither player has taken a definitive advantage over each other. Fire Giant's now pushing in here. It would be nice to see Mahi get masons and architects. He definitely could afford it. I'm not sure why he has it. Oh, there we go. Masons is in. Still no architects though. And the walls have been broken through by siege rams. So these are now going to go try to take out Mahi's trade, which, if it's not noticed, this could hurt. Mahi doesn't have a ton of gold income. Fight continuing on the right side. Ballista now in. And, yep, there we go. Targeting the markets. By the way, Hades markets also have quite a bit of extra HP from the Hades bonus, which is really strong. It's one benefit of Hades that people don't think about too much. It takes longer to kill his markets. Fire Giant's getting picked off by large amounts of units. Fight continuing over here. And we see that the side build is continuing on this side. And Killerboy will be into his opponent's trade soon, which Mahi has to answer, because if he doesn't answer, that's good game. Pressure continuing on this side, killing the fortress, so this is now out of Mahi's control. And the underworld passage will now be targeted. Mahi now trying to clear out this side build on the left, realizing how much trouble he is in from it, and feeling the heat coming in onto his trade. And Killerboy will begin trying to wall this soon. It won't be too hard to do, and it will shut down the trade almost immediately. And he is targeting the last market. The market is almost down. Very bad situation for Mahi. This could be leading to the end of the game right here. And he is sort of desperately trying to push in to take out this side build. So he at least knows what's up and he's trying to do something about it. Killerboy continuing to pressure on the right side as well with these siege units and these Wolfsarks. Fire Giants spawning out of the temple to defend this position. And here we see the power of that rampage. With 2 Fire Giants just spawning nearly immediately. Very easy defense for the position. Killerboy could kill a few caravans to free up a few more pop, but I guess he's not worried about that. He's just so focused on applying the pressure. And we see that he is pushing on the right side now, even as he has Mahi occupied on the left. And Mahi is running out of steam in this attempt to remove Killerboy's side build. And his trade is dead. So this is actually looking quite bad for Mahi. So the portable rams actually did quite a bit of work. Interesting as you almost never see them do much of anything. Nonetheless, Mahi still has a solid amount of gold, so he isn't in a situation where he's going to be gold starved immediately. It's just rather this is not very effective gathering 24 gold at a time. Fighting starting up again on the right side as the Ballista are now sieging down the vital production buildings of Mahi. Fight going on, continuing on the side build, but it will be repelled by Fire Giants. Another one joining the battle. Ooh, Fire Giants are so strong and such a sexy unit. And Killerboy just slowly establishing more and more control over the map. It's going to make it hard for Mahi to come back. Very hard. And this wall here has allowed Killerboy to just establish a new base on this side. And there we go. That is good game. So that was a solid game. We saw Killerboy fight really well against early pressure and go on to eventually win the war of attrition against Hades. So I hope you guys enjoyed that game, and we'll see you next time on Old School AOT.